Hey guys, welcome back to Texas Young Guns. In today's video, we will be reviewing the Honda 3000is Inverter Generator. Now, as you guys can tell, this generator is a little bit of an older model. It's not that old, but it has had a rough life so far. This was actually recovered from a building fire, which is why it looks so rough, but it still purrs like a kitten and works great. These generators are probably one of the more popular Honda generators that are sold, if I had to guess. I don't have any numbers behind that, obviously, but if I had to guess, this is probably one of their most popular models. It's in between like a light suitcase generator and a heavy-duty construction grade generator, and what I mean by that is the 3000 watts that it can do and perform at is like kind of middle of the road. There's lots of positives and negatives to this generator, and let's go through them. So first, some specs about this generator. This generator, like I said, is a 3000 watt generator. It only operates in between around 50 to 57 decibels, really quiet. You can easily have a conversation around this thing when it's running and barely notice that it's there. Another cool thing about this generator is you have two modes of running. So you can either run in like a high idle mode where the generator is constantly revved up all the time, or they have what you call an economy mode where the generator can actually go down to the lowest idle that it can perform at. So in other words, if you have a light load, the generator will idle down, and I'll show you all that here a little bit later. Now, Honda claims that this generator will run 6.9 hours on a single tank of fuel. It carries 3.4 gallons of fuel, and that 6.9 hours is at a heavy load or a mid-range load. If you just let it idle, it'll actually run almost 20 hours. According to Honda, this generator will run for 19.6 hours at a idle, which is pretty incredible considering it only has a little over 3-gallon tank. Now, this generator, when you buy it, will come with a 3-year warranty from Honda. And it is what you call a inverter generator. If you've watched our channel before, you've watched the other generator reviews, you already know what that means. But basically, this generator produces clean sine wave energy. What that means is it produces energy that is safe for electronics like laptops, cell phones, stuff like that, but can also run bigger items that maybe don't require clean energy. But if you're going to run sensitive electronics, you want an inverter generator, and that's what this is. Otherwise, like a contractor grade open frame generator is going to be not clean energy. So in other words, as the engine is revving, the energy levels are going up and down like crazy. Things like power tools and stuff like that will run just fine on a generator like that, but your phone, your laptop, those kind of things will not like that. Now, the newer models of this generator actually has something called co-minder. Or CO minder. Basically, if it detects that the CO levels are getting too high, it automatically shuts the generator down. Pretty neat feature, pretty good safety feature, and is to be expected from a company like Honda. So if you're wondering if this generator is right for you, you're wondering what it will run by itself. So in the normal world, it'll easily run several fridges. It'll run a microwave. If you're in the camping world like we are, it'll run a 13.5 BTU air conditioner, which is pretty good. If you watch a previous video where I compared the 3 different style of generators, you'll see that it easily runs our 15,000 BTU air conditioning on top of our trailer. So this has a lot of power to run a lot of stuff. So that is definitely one of the positives if you go with this generator or one like it. Now, if you're like me and you like to know what engine and stuff these things have, it has the Honda GX200 engine. It's a 197cc engine. One of the downsides to this generator is that it is very, very heavy. This generator weighs about 130 pounds dry. So that's 130 pounds without any weight of the fuel. That's this sucker dry. So this is not something that you're going to be able to lift into the back of the truck by yourself unless you're just like a huge muscle guy. But this certainly is a generator that's light enough for 2 people, as long as you have 2 relatively strong people. It's not going to be something that you want to get in and out of a truck very often. Now it's not safe to run these in the back of your truck, or any generator in the back of your truck for that matter, but it's something you're going to really have to think about if you want to get it out of the truck. So this is the business end of the generator. As you can tell, this is where you're going to be plugging into. Try to ignore the wear and tear. Like I said, this generator has been used a lot, so there's a little bit of dirt, little dirt daubers, all the normal kind of stuff of an outside use generator. You will have two 20 amp plugs. These are 110 plugs. This is what you would typically find in your house. You do have a 23.3 amp twist lock plug. So this is still 125 volts, but it gives you a little bit more amperage. It's a three-prong plug. So if you're trying to run your RV off of this, you would have a adapter off of a 3-pin to your RV. You'll have to convert it to either 30 or 50 amp. This is the eco throttle switch that I was telling you about. So right now it is in the off position. So when I start the generator, you have this in the off position. When it's warmed up and you're ready to conserve fuel and be a little bit more quiet, you can move it to the on position, and that kind of idles the generator down. This is your fuel valve. This is a really nice feature because the best way to treat your generator is when you're running it and you're done, to keep running it and just shut off the fuel valve here. That way it runs the carburetor out of gas and it keeps your carburetor clean from those nasty modern fuels. You do have a couple of circuit breakers. So you have one here that you can reset. You also have a choke. That's for cold starting. And then of course, one nice feature about this generator is it does have a engine start switch. So if you have a battery in this, you do not have to pull start it. You can just turn the key to the on position and then start it. This particular one doesn't have a battery in it, but it starts just fine off of the pull rope. Something else you have on this generator is some what I call dummy lights. So if you run low on oil or overload the generator, it tells you that, and it will safely cut power so it doesn't hurt your generator or harm your generator. You also have a output indication, and what that is all it does is it tells you when the generator is ready to output power to whatever you're trying to hook up to the generator. So on the right side here, there's not much to see. There is a ground at the very bottom. That's the way if you need to ground the generator for safety reasons, you can do that. And the only really other thing to see on this side is this is where your pull cable is going to be. So if you don't have a battery in it or the battery's dead, this is how you would start the generator, is with this pull cable. On this side of the generator, which would be the left side if you're standing in the front, this is where you're going to do all of your maintenance. So Honda is very good about giving you your levels. So it tells you how many gallons of gas you can put in it. It gives you how many oil, the voltage levels, all those kind of good information. You can also undo this and open this panel. It swings out. So as you can see, as you open up this generator on this side, this is where your air filter is going to be. This is where your carburetor is. This is all where most of your maintenance is going to be. So here's the back side of the generator. This is where you'll actually check the oil. So as you open the back panel here, you'll see here is your plug and here is a drain. So if you want to drain the engine of oil, you'll simply loosen this right here. If you just want to check it or fill it, you'll take this plug out here. So on the top of the generator, all you're going to see is the fill cap. Obviously some caution information that they're probably required to put on there. And you also have a fuel level gauge. Alright, so we got the Honda generator outside. It is time to see how it runs, how it takes a load, and how quiet or loud that it is. So let's get it started. I'm going to turn the key in the on switch, make sure that the fuel valve is on, make sure that the eco switch is off, and going to hand crank it, because like I said earlier, there's no battery in this. You can't have a battery, but it's just as easy to pull start. So you might be thinking to yourself, wow, that sounds really quiet. I don't even have the eco mode on yet. That's just running off of its normal state at the high idle. So let's put in eco mode and you'll hear the RPMs drop and it gets really quiet. Pretty impressive for a 3000 watt generator. So here we are with the generator again. I have brought a space heater out here. As everybody knows, space heaters are not efficient with power at all. They take a lot of amperage, a lot of power to run, but man, are they useful when it's cold outside. So with that in mind, let's see how this generator handles the load from a space heater. So guys, that's really it for this review. This is a great generator. Honda is top of the line when it comes to generators, and you really can't go wrong if you decide to purchase one of these. One thing I didn't mention earlier is the price. So these generators are not cheap. Honda is known for their reliability and high quality. With that comes with the price. So these generators run for anywhere from $2,500 to $3,000 online today in November of 22. So not a cheap generator. Just keep in mind also the weight. So if you're like us and you're campers, lugging one of these things in and out of a truck bed or some kind of situation like that is not going to be ideal for you. It's very heavy. It takes at least 2 people. Now I can lift it by myself to get it on a dolly to move around, but that's about it. Speaking of which, they do make wheel kits for these, so it's easier to roll around. This one doesn't have it, but they do make them. But you're not going to get around having to lift it if you're going to put it in the back of a truck or want to tote it around somewhere other than your home or somewhere local. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that review. I hope this was helpful, and we will see you next week. Bye.